That's right. Every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., we're here, Pacific Standard Time. So check us out. This past month of October, we went through a 4 series every Wednesday, setting up for a live show. And we're going to kind of break down a different scenario this week, actually. And we're going to specifically be talking about, we started in session view and we brought things over to arrangement view. And we're in this spot where we have our sessions kind of random and sporadic, and we tab over. Here's our arrangement view. And what we did is we brought everything, we cut out our time starting from 0 over here so that our timeline works out, and our timing down here in the very bottom really shows the actual time of a song. We're at just over 5 minutes here, and we zoom in. And we want to fill this song up with the knickknacks, I would call them. We have a really good foundation, and then we're going to start making transitions, adding in sounds, and we're going to be using Splice, different ways of getting your sounds, both internally from Ableton and externally. So let's go ahead and just listen to a part of this. As you notice right up here, I've named these. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see this. So I have different parts here, right? So a bass in, charango, and then it starts with oud 1, charango again, and then oud, and then it ends. This is just essentially what I've named it for this session here. But yeah, the sub comes in right here. Let's go ahead and listen from this area. Nice little drop right there. So right there, I want to have something change. And so I'm going to just start marking areas. So change to breakdown. Maybe a melody comes in right here. Just before that change, I want to have something happen. So I'm highlighting an area. And then I'm Command L, brings over my loop bracket. Take the loop off. Okay, I hit the top loop right here and it highlights all the tracks. Command E cuts them. And I'm going to just zero out everything but the one track I want. Let's see, what do we want here? I think this oud track. And then we can start doing some builds. And this is where we want to have our changed melody come in. So essentially, a lot of this is leaving space for transitions, taking things out, putting different sound effects in. So I'm starting off by just taking things out. It says guitar here because I tracked it as it said guitar, but this is actually the oud. A little confusing. It's nice to always have it named ahead of time. I did the tracking pretty quick on this the other day. Took about an hour, and we got to this level. Not bad. So we're going to cut off some of this. Just having these little bits of the kind of cool. So this might be a little bit more sparse to allow for some space. I'm also noticing that we don't have any effects on this yet. I think this is kind of similar to a guitar. So in my effects rack, I'd probably just go to a guitar, maybe even electric guitar, and drop that in, and eventually customize this for the oud. We don't have any macros. Simplify that. And I want to gain structure this a little bit, show automation. So this is going to be more of a background sound. Dropping that down. Quite a bit of a drop. Everything can be really dropped out quite a bit now. Because we're at 0 over here, let's go ahead and drop this to something more reasonable. -8. It's a pretty big drop. I normally drop about by 3 dB, but this is, you know, the general gain stage, and you want to get really things low enough to where you can then bring them up again. And it might even be that you have something where this kind of pops in and out, right? So it starts off low and goes high. I'm doing this pretty small on the screen. You can always just plus in to get the exact areas that you want. And if you have a gain staging that you like, or a gain structure coming in, you can just copy that and paste it. I'm copying and pasting Command C, Command V. It's because I'm in automation mode, right? In automation mode shows the automation, the red lines. I'm pressing the A function on my keyboard to get there, or you can go right click, show automation. That A function will not work if you are in key mode up here, right? It takes that away because it allows you to kind of play your keyboard as with your sounds. I think I even want that more drastic. Control Z. Kind of cool. Command D, duplicating that over. Right away, it just really stands out as too loud otherwise. I really like this. I'll just put it all the way through that. I'm not getting some of the electric guitar sounds that I want. This is an older rack that didn't have that. So I'm just going to go into my regular effects, audio effects, and click on amp. And it will bring down all the drop downs of amps. And let's just go in and rock all 10. Boom. Let's see how this sounds. A little more grungy. I like more space. Control Z. So this is one where we take off automation and we just want to copy now the waveform. So that's when we copy here. Let's see if that sounds. I like that. I'm going to duplicate that again. So now we have a different kind of breakdown, kind of a oud breakdown here. I'll name that. Rename oud breakdown. Bread down, breakdown. There we go. So I put that marker in by clicking up here on the set marker and then clicked on the marker and did Command R to get that naming in. And then if we like this section here, let's go ahead and just make that a different color so we know we're kind of... It kind of builds up now in the next section naturally. Very drastic change here. So we need to have something really get in here and get a change going on. I know we have a few of these sweeps that could help out a little bit. I think that we could also just duplicate this and put some different sound effects on this next one. This auto filter could also put an amp over here. Heavy. Let's go ahead and just loop this. Command L. Soloing it. And put this in the background. And let's put a little bit of a utility on here at the very end and pan that. So balancing, show automation. I like to just drop one side and then you can then pan easily by taking the other ones. I know I'm doing this really small. I can zoom in here, pressing plus. I always get change mixed up because I go from using Final Cut to Ableton. So some of the shortcuts are a little bit different. Let's go ahead and just do a full pan. See how that sounds. Put that in there. And if the beat came out or something or changed, that might be another opportunity to have some changes. Let's go ahead and keep this smaller part in. So we're getting closer to getting the sound effects that we want. And let's find out where that is. Let's mark it. And this is where it drops back in. So you guys, one thing that I think would be really cool is just to create, because I have a lot of shakers that I could just record here live, but something that you can do is utilize sound effects. I'm going to go ahead and log into my Splice account and kind of walk through getting sound effects and then actually creating a sample pack or a rack out of that. So let's call this shakers. And let's just listen to this a little bit. I like it. I'm going to go ahead and just copy that to the clipboard. Anything you copy in, let's go ahead and listen to the next one. Nice. Very cool drumming. This is going to be, so I'm looking at my BPM and this is 132 BPM. I'm at 85, so it might not work, but a couple things. Another thing you can do is bring your BPM to the location that you want, right? So maybe kind of anything in this range kind of could probably work. So update, looks like great. I'll just go ahead and get a few of these. Looks like I already have quite a few of these. Definitely going to help out having that in there. Ooh, I like that one. I like the panning on that. This mic a little bit busy, but that could be cool to make specific sounds. That's the BPM we kind of want, 87, right? All right, so that should be enough right there. And what I'm going to do is just go ahead and try some of these out. Okay, so I've pretty much got all these in here. I'm going to copy to clipboard. Okay, when that's in my clipboard, now I'm going to go ahead and bring in a whole new rack, Command-Shift-T, and this is going to be a new drum rack. Now, I've made a few of these drum racks already. Let's go ahead and just go into Instruments, Instrument Racks. So we'll take a couple things from inside Ableton too, but here we go. I had this gourd rack here. And as a matter of fact, I believe that's in my custom racks or my instruments. Let me just type in that. Gourd. Did I spell that wrong? There we go. G-O-U-R-D. Okay, it's in the red drums. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and put this in. So I'm bringing in a rack that I've already kind of filled out a few things, but there's room in this rack down here for more. I'm going to go ahead and take my face out of the equation so you guys can see this a little bit better. Down here in the bottom area, you can still see this rack. And these are the ones that I put in here. These are actually ones that I recorded. And I want to get some different sound effects in here. So I can now, it said I did a copy and paste to clipboard. Let's see if I can right click. No. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my Splice and open and closed folder. And this is in my enclosed folder. Now this is where I would go ahead and just drop this sound into the location that I want. Now it's a pretty long loop. You can kind of see that right here. So let's go ahead and just play this. I'll just take the end, fade out. Let's try that as a one hit. I can then copy and paste. Oh. Dun, dun, dun. Command Z. That didn't actually work. Let's go ahead and just take it again from here. We'll put it in again. So I just want to have more control of where these hit. So the second one will be the end. And fade out. And the first one will be the beginning, and we'll fade out before that. Fade out a little bit. So I can kind of play that when I want them to come through. Let's go back and get into our other sounds here. So we're just slowly building this out. So this is something that we could just use as a loop potentially. So instead of putting this into our drum rack, I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can make this on its own track. Command T is breaking a new audio track. And if you don't name it right here, whatever you drop in, it will automatically name it for you. There it is. I like that. Let's go ahead and bring that all the way through. And I want some auto panning here. And that can kind of continue in now. So just going to just highlight and paste in. Really liking the shaker. So we've just done two in two different ways, right? One is just a loop directly in, and the other one we're bringing in that rack. Anything that can be as a hit, a one hit, open and close folder, and there it is. So we want to go back into our gourd here and bring that in. I'm switching between windows easily by Command Tab. Okay, so some functions within your computer is really important. I have a Mac that I'm using. Might be a little bit different if you're on a PC computer. So I'm just going back and forth, making sure this is the one. Shaker loop. No, that's not the one. Oops, while I was talking, I think I just took off the one I wanted. Temple. Yeah, I think actually I got it. Yep. So I'm going to go into the gourd. I'm in the gourd right now, my rack, and I'm going to drop it in to the appropriate channel. And it looks like we have the possibility of doing two hits again. So I'll do the exact same thing a little bit faster since we're doing the same technique. So this first one, I'm going to make it a one hit and just take this first hit and fade that out, make no transposition. All right, and that second one, I'm going to make it just be a one hit. Looks like they're pretty much the same each time, so it doesn't matter which one I take. And fade that one out just a tad bit. We like the attack to be strong, so there's no fade in. Cool. So we have a little bit of our own possibility of putting those in where we want to, where and when. Let's go down and get a few more. 90 BPM is pretty close to our tempo. So open and closed folder once again. And let's make this fit in here on a new track. Command T. Pretty big loop. So I think this shaker might be a little bit high in pitch for us. We can pitch this down and easily put it to the area that we want. And it's also a little bit too far behind the beat, right? So all of these samples were kind of created a little bit on their own. Let's see if we can put this right on the beat and see how that feels and sounds to us. Making that more surprised that sounds so far behind the beat. It's the second one over there. So it is panned. So if there's certain ones that might sound a little bit better for that first hit being more solid, we can just take that and paste it in. There we go. Or even duplicate. And if we want to double time when the beat comes in, it's as simple as that. Or have that every other time, right? Now that I zoom out, I kind of see a pattern happening with these right here. And we can duplicate that across. See how far that goes. Oud part is the next section. I am liking more so the track now that it's kind of filled out with some shakers. You just simplify it right there. It's kind of hard to take a shaker out once it's in, but it definitely brings in some extra dynamics. Okay, so we have a few shakers that are on this own track. We still have this gourd that we want to fill out this rack, right? We've gotten 4 sounds in here, but I think I want to get a few more, and I'm looking for more of like something. Let's go ahead and look back in here. A lot of these are great loops, and I'm just going to have to indulge myself since it's here. Opening the enclosed folder again, and we're going to drop that right in as its own Command T, and bring this over. We are done with this one. Tap shake. The nice thing about loops is it doesn't take too much space. Selecting and duplicating. Okay. And this is another part that we have for charango. Let's go ahead and just kind of put this into our other charango breakdown so we know we have it there. Now it says oud breakdown. That's okay. We want it over here. Just bringing this back a little bit so it doesn't take over the mix. I'm also noticing that none of these have any effects on them yet. So let's just go in and make sure that we have those. Looking pretty complex over here. Where are we with these? Gourd toward the very bottom. So at the very bottom of arrangement view, you could then see what these are right over here. Right? You can open these up and kind of see the names of them. And they were named as we brought them in. All of these don't have effects on. This is my short tail reverb. Put a little bit of that on. Let's go ahead and just listen. Longer, 2.5, 3.5. having a shaker with a little bit of delay, pan delay helps out. A little busy. I'm gonna go ahead and just drop all that off. All of those. All right. Better drop. So this is where I want some clanky sounds. Let's just see if the word clank can come up with anything. Clank. Ah, okay, that's a clank. Okay, let's go ahead and put that in. So this is that metal clank sound, and let's just see how this sounds on its own channel. Command T, and we're going to bring that in when the oud comes in. So we're just starting to get more dynamics, right? When we start bringing these extra things in. It's already panned, so I don't need my auto panning going on. I'm able to turn up my effects from arrangement view right here. It doesn't look as nice, but I can tell it's just A, B, C, D, E, F in that order right there. So. It might even just be that they come in a little bit. If we want that to take place for a while, it's every other. And then it might actually come in more toward the next. I'm just hearing a lot with this part right here. This is really one of the clanks I'm going for. Let's just see if we can find one more before we go on. Might as well try that out. Ange Guardian. Let's go ahead and open and closed folder. And we will close down and go back up. This is a one hit now. So let's go ahead and bring this into our rack so that we can really see this properly. We just want this one to be dropped in to a channel that's open in our rack. And it is to be a one hit. We want that to be right on top. So I'm zooming in by holding down and scrolling down so I can really get that to be right at the beginning. Scroll back out and get the ending one. Let's bring that in now. Okay, this is where we want to get really precise. Okay. Right on the top there, you can kind of see where it's coming in. And we don't want to transpose, we want to fade out. This could be a cool sound for charango part. Okay, I really had a lot of dynamics just kind of playing that one hit there. I'm using the push 2, and I'm on this gourd. I'm just going to go ahead and take a track with playing these parts here. One of the sounds, this needs a little bit more reverb on it, and it looks just really clean. Let's go ahead and just put something right directly on it. This one as well needs a little bit of a reverb to kind of just soften the tone just a tad bit. This cutout could also be a little bit down, so you have less of that little hit. Actually, might even want to bring that back. And this, once again, also needs a little bit of a reverb, I think. Drag it right onto the instrument and it will put it inside it. Volume on this one's a little bit high. So, okay, those are our sound effects we're going to play through, starting from the charango part. Here we go. Record mode. All right. So there's a couple things in there that I liked. Go ahead and copy and paste that around so I have that equal, and duplicate that across to the OOD. So we just have a couple things here. Once I have a take, I will highlight the whole thing, Command J, joins them, and then I'm going to quantize this. And what I want to quantize this is to a swing amount of 14%. On the push, it makes it nice and easy, 100% to the 16th note. Let's go ahead and just watch this quantize. There we go. Dry, wet. So let's go ahead and play this a little bit and just mess around. And even you could also put your parameters to show the values. Right? So it depends on the value, right? How much you want, or the percentage. Edit macro map, or you can edit Midi Map. Now these are all the automations we have right here. And it's showing just kind of, so yeah, some of the movements, but we can also do different things with this that essentially can change how high or how low you want this to go in regard to what that is. You can also change the text info on it. All right. Let's go ahead and we will exit that mode. Turn that off for now. Let's just go ahead and just listen to this. We're almost done with our hour here, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you like what you see and hear, please like and subscribe to our page. Click the bell icon and let us know what you want to work on. We deal with all digital audio workstations, Logic, Pro Tools, Ableton. You can even go into FL Studio, etc. My favorite is Ableton. Logic is up there as well with one of my favorites. I started on Pro Tools, and yeah, we work with sound design. We have a mixing and mastering, a full producer program, and an academy. Our short courses are 18 to 36 hours long, and you guys can join us online or in person at our boutique studio. The one that we do is in SF, Bay Area, California, but there's locations in LA, Nashville, Miami, Florida, New York, London, Germany, Tokyo, and so on. There's 8 locations worldwide. So please contact us, get us in touch. We have some people teaching even in Spanish if you guys want to do that. So we look forward to seeing you in the near future. I'm just going to go out with doing one last look at this, and I'll be editing as I go. Here we go. Volume down. Let's open this up so we can really see it better. CPU is getting a little clunky here because we got a lot going on. With that said, let's go ahead and just set this up. So I'm not doing any live playing right now, so I'm going to go all the way up to my buffer size in preferences to 1024, and notice a difference here. It's going to be way easier. Simplify. Back to the basics. I gotta get back to the basics. Here we go. Break it down. Liking the oud sound there. Yep. Sweet. All right. We'll end with that, you guys. Thanks for joining us. My name's Justin, and I'm doing this every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. for West Coast Wednesdays. That's right. Every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. We're here. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. We look forward to jamming with you in the near future. Have a great rest of your day.